do is plug it in. Move it a little closer. In order to connect to the camera, you have to get a router, Wi-Fi router. It doesn't come with the camera, and you can't connect to the camera without a router, so you are kind of obligated to get this third-party item, which is a little bit cumbersome because they don't all run on battery power, and they all need to have, the ones that work are the ones that have LAN input, so LAN. There are a number of different like wireless routers you can buy, or Wi-Fi routers that you can buy that are battery powered, but they are mostly all WAN, and that doesn't work with this camera. So,
what's the brand you have? What do you recommend?
This brand was just the cheapest one I could find on Amazon. It's by this company called TrendNet, and I think it was in the $20 range. So it's not that it's expensive; it's just that it's the only way to connect to the camera, which is important to know because otherwise you can't really change the settings. There's no connectivity with the camera unless you go through the process of getting it connected to a router. So plug it into the wall and then plug it into the camera. And at that point, just turn it around so you can see the lights. At that point, it'll be connected to power, but you also need to have batteries plugged in. Batteries have to be charged and inside the camera, or even though you have it connected to a router or to another Ethernet port, it won't turn on. So now you turn it on, it goes through the sequence of flashing all the lights, and it's ready to shoot. You got the cards in, and that's it.
Nice.
Once you hit the middle button there's a way to take a photo on the bottom, but the middle button's to roll video. You press it once, it sits for 5 to 10 seconds, and then starts blinking. And if any card is malfunctioning or not loaded, it won't blink. So you just have to make sure that all 6 are blinking.
Does that mean we're not recording?
It's recording right now.
Oh.
So we're on camera.
Nice.
So the best part about this camera is that it's such a small form factor, and the way that all the sensors are aligned inside, they're so close together that your preferred minimum distance for stitching is in the like 3 to 4 foot range. So the two of us now will be safe for stitching stereo, which is pretty great.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The way that the lenses find the stereo image is not by separating 3 and 3. It's by an algorithm that Kandao created that uses partial parts of each field of view to create this really dynamic and quite impressive stereo. Not all stereo is the same. Some cameras have stereo that feels a little bit flatter than others, and I find that the Kandao camera system has a really dynamic looking full stereo feel, and being that you can get real close to the camera and use their software to stitch the stereo image, you can get a really dynamic shot because you can get really close. And that's what I try to do with VR, is always try to get the camera as close to subjects as possible because you want that experience, that interactive experience. So when somebody's watching your media later, they can actually feel like they're there, you know? And when you're really far away from something, it's not that interesting, I find, unless it's a really gorgeous area. So having a small, condensed form factor for 360 3D stereo capture is like a huge bonus. So it's still rolling. Everything's good. Still blinking. When it's plugged in, it'll roll on 64 gig cards for like 4 hours. So you're good. It gets kind of hot, but it really doesn't like overheat. I've used it indoors and outdoors, and it's pretty reliable. It's pretty reliable. So right now I've got it plugged in to the Wi-Fi router. That's the only plug that's going into the camera. And it's got the 2 LP6 batteries in there, which I believe are mostly charged right now. On my phone, I'll go to Wi-Fi. And when you get your router, it can be any router that you decide on buying. You'll just need to connect to it first. And then once you're connected, It's not going to have any actual internet capability through the Wi-Fi, of course. You're going to connect to the, where is it at? You're going to connect to the Obsidian app.